Today's video is going to look at how you unpack your class data for Year 7 and Year 9 teachers. This will accompany your data from your NAPLAN practice tests that your students sat in Term 1. So you'll receive an email from me and it will have an Excel document, which is this one, and it will also have a Word or a PDF, which will be a copy of the NAPLAN paper. So what I want you to do first is you'll click on Cohort, and this will show you how the students at Meriden performed with the different questions. So this is everybody. And it also shows you the percentage correct of our group as a whole. From there, click on your class and you will have a corresponding graph. So across the top, you can see those yellow numbers. They have been hyperlinked to show you what every question actually was for the paper. And underneath that, you can see the percentage correct for your class. A step below that, we have the nation. For example, in question 1, 88% of 7H got it right and 92.5% of the nation got it right. So if you look at that bottom row, if it is red, it means they sit below nation against those numeracy questions in particular. So if you scroll down on this tab, you'll have your class list and you'll have a raw score, which is how many they got correct out of 49, and it will also have a rough banding, bearing in mind that our NAPLAN practice test is all multiple choice and it doesn't exactly replicate NAPLAN. So it's just a rough idea. Now I'm going to go through 3 different ways you can use this data in your classroom for weeks 2 and weeks 3 when you are focusing on numeracy. So the first thing you could do is have a look at the cohort graph and then start to make some comparisons with your graph and see if there are any major discrepancies against your class in certain areas compared to the rest of our Meriden group. That could be one thing that you could do. And obviously, these are all hyperlinked for you to use in the classroom, and you'll also have that Word document or PDF. So that's the first thing I'd encourage you to do. Secondly, what you could do is when you go into your class list, you could be working on the areas that have the greatest difference to the nation, because they should be the easier questions that most of Australia got right compared to our class. But really be aware of those easier questions that most of Australia can solve. So have a look at that bottom row and choose the ones with the greatest difference. That could be another idea. For example, looking through this data here, I think our biggest difference is 29%. And I would pull up question 20 and then I would work on that with students. And I'm going to show you another video on how to actually unpack a question and really promote problem solving in your classroom. The last thing you could do is have a look at your graph. So if I was a teacher, what I would do is I'd have a look at that graph and have a look at any question that hit below 50%. You can see that from looking directly at your graph, and you can also see that from the Term 1 2019 cohort, where you would flag questions under 50%. And what that means is more than half of your kids can't solve it. That would be a great idea for an opportunity for warm-ups or in your numeracy blocks for week 2 and week 3. So those are 3 different ways you can unpack your data. You could be using it in your classroom for warm-ups or in your numeracy blocks. Now, if you have any questions for me and need some clarification on this video, please feel free to send me an email or pop in. Thank you very much.